Welcome to section 3.2. This is the 26th session of the ISACA CISA exam prep series. In this session, we'll cover the business case and the feasibility study. We'll answer a few questions. What is a business case and why does it gate a project? What does a feasibility study actually examine? And what should you check when you review one? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because this is where money gets committed or saved. Picture a hospital weighing a new scheduling system. A weak business case lets a doomed project sail through. A solid one stops bad spending before it starts. When you can read these documents critically, you protect the budget. And you make sure decisions rest on evidence, not enthusiasm. What is a business case and why does it gate a project? A business case carries the information needed to decide to proceed. It answers one blunt question. Why should we undertake or continue this project? It describes the business reasons and the expected benefits. And it should hold up across the whole life of the project. Here's the key idea. The business case is not a one-time formality. Good projects build in decision points along the way. People often label these stage gates or kill points. At each one, you recheck whether the case still holds. If it no longer makes sense, sponsors should pause and reconsider. And if the case materially changes, the project gets reapproved. So what comes after the initial green light? A deeper analysis called the feasibility study. It asks whether a practical solution exists within budget and schedule. Think of it as testing the idea before you commit. A feasibility study usually has 6 parts. Let's walk through them. What's the first part of a feasibility study? Project scope. This defines the business problem or opportunity to address. It should be clear, tight, and to the point. What comes next? Current analysis. Here you understand the system that exists today. You weigh its strengths and weaknesses. Maybe it works fine. Maybe it needs tweaks. Maybe it needs replacing. Imagine a logistics firm studying its aging tracking tool. This step tells you what you're really starting from. What about requirements? That's the third part. You define what the solution must do. That flows from stakeholder needs and real constraints. Think business rules, regulations, and end-user functions. And note that software and system requirements differ. How do you decide on a direction? That's the approach. You set a course of action to meet the requirements. You spell out the alternatives you considered, and you explain why the chosen one won. This is where the build versus buy decision lives. How do you know it's worth it? That's the evaluation. You examine whether the project is cost-effective. The final report compares costs across the options. It pulls in employee hours, materials, and vendor costs. It lists the schedule and a cost-benefit summary. Return on investment shows up right here. And the last part? The review. Key stakeholders formally review the whole study. They approve it, reject it, or send it back for fixes. If approved, the stakeholders sign the document. If rejected, the reasons go on a lessons learned list for next time. So what's your role when you review a feasibility study? Your job is to keep the process effective and unbiased. Start with the requirements themselves. Are they critical, and are they accurate and complete? Confirm that all affected user groups were actually represented. Check whether existing systems could solve this already. If not, see if the alternatives were judged reasonably. Test whether the chosen solution truly fits its strengths and weaknesses. Verify that every cost and benefit is real and traceable. Confirm that startup and cost won the sign-off they needed. Check the high-level design for user needs and for defined controls. Make sure enough vendors receive the proposal. Review the user acceptance test specifications. And ask whether an embedded audit routine belongs in the design. One more signal worth noting. If the enterprise keeps missing its return targets, look closer. That often points to weak development and project practices. So let's bring it together. The business case answers why a project should happen. Stage gates keep retesting that answer as you go. The feasibility study runs scope, current state, requirements, and approach. Then evaluation and review decide go or no go. And your job is to keep the whole thing honest and evidence-based. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on RooCloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.